looks like everybody's favorite Trollin just got the animated treatment. Here's your look at Mattel He-Man and Master Universe Cartoon Collection Orko Heroic Court Magician. It's an exciting time to be a Master Universe fan. For longtime fans and for a new generation of kids who love the action and adventure, it's time to experience the thrilling action and adventure of He-Man, Skeletor, The Secrets of Castle Grayskull, and much more. The figures in this collection stand 5.5 inches tall and have 16 movable joints, so they're highly posable for imaginative and action-oriented fun. We all know how Orko gets into trouble. I might even get in trouble myself for saying that I actually like the cartoon collection Orko more than I liked the Origins. Speaking of the Origins, we will be bringing that in second. In the meantime, though, first, let's take the tape measure and see how tall the figure stands. Now, Orko is currently on a display stand. He does come included with one. That stand, by the way, can be swapped around with the Origins. Wait, what? Yeah. The figure for Orko, at least, is going to stand at 5.5 inches in height, of course, including the display stand. Turning that around, though, you're looking at the figure being 14 centimeters tall. That Origins Orko, by the way, here's what the figure looks like with him. A little bit longer in proportions, because keeping in mind the original vintage Orko would have been a longer figure, and he also wouldn't have come included with a display stand that looks like this. Again, you can take the stands and swap them around. In the meantime, though, let's bring in some other figures as well. Here's what he looks like with the cartoon collection He-Man. Why not? Let's bring in Teela. Bring in Duncan, Man-at-Arms. And just because, again, like we've just recently had a look at him as well, let's also bring in the cartoon collection Buzz-Off. Does Orko come included with the paper pamphlet Magic Storyteller? Will you be also making a joke and throwing it away? He does, and I will. The figure, first of all, does come included with a paper pamphlet. The pamphlet in this case does, if I can actually open it up, show all the parts that can be swapped around. They also include the display stand, although it really is only effective when you have another Orko. Of course, that can be swapped around. It's not like you can really take this. I don't think you can actually detach the top of a torso of a cartoon collection figure and ram that in the bottom. No, I'm not even going to try that either. Not much in the way of jokes. I'm going to discard the paper pamphlet right over somewhere over there. The figure does also come included with a mini comic entitled Future Tense. This is part V of the Horde Invasion saga. I think this is now the first time that we've actually got ourselves mini comics that actually specifically tell us that it's a part of a bigger story. Advertised on the front, by the way, there's She-Ra. Advertised on the back, though, there's also cartoon collection Grizzlor and Fangman. Now, I've ordered both of these figures. They haven't yet arrived. Figured I also wanted to look at Orko. I actually ordered Orko from a different site, and then I ordered these two from another different site. I wish that I could have all really ordered them together, but it's just the way that Lady Luck was dealting my hand that day. Inside, though, the comic, and one thing, unfortunately, though, about the comic is getting out of the packaging, it was bent like this. It had nothing, though, to do with the way I opened it up. I mean, if you go back and look at the way I've opened up the packaging, not that I feel the need to prove that, but I think I was pretty careful when it came to opening it. It just, unfortunately, was curled like this. But at least I can do myself at least a fix by, when I do pick up these figures, it's going to come included with the exact same comic, so I won't even have to worry as much that it's going to have the corner that looks like this. Anyways, there's Hordak featured on the inside. That actually looks like the severed head of Hordak, which is kind of weird the way they've depicted that. A couple of red Horde troopers, Skeletor down below in the section as well. I was going to say the comment section. There's Bo, there's Frosta. And what else do we have in? What's kind of really rather neat about this, too, is also teases the the New Adventures of He-Man, which I'm probably one of the few people that actually like the New Adventures of He-Man. I do hope that we are eventually going to be getting some branch then into that, and we may even get like a cartoon collection New Adventures of He-Man line. Is anybody going to be all that interested in it? I think if they do that, though, I don't feel like they need to do like all the characters. Maybe just do a He-Man, just do a Skeletor. That would be enough for me. Oh, and then like, was that eyeball guy? I think I would kind of be interested to see that as well. So that's your mini comic. I'm not going to dispose of that. I just dropped my He-Man off to the side. I'm not going to dispose of this. I'm going to hold on to this for dear life until, of course, I got the other two figures. Then this might also be discarded as well. Let's move that off to the side, though, and getting a closer look at Orko. Now, Orko comes with not only the accessory of the hero medal. He also comes included, of course, with the floating stand. But, though, you may also notice that he also comes with two other pieces. Those other two pieces are if you want to change him over to make him look like Uncle Montark. So, again, like you can swap the parts out with the existing Orko that you have. More than reasons, I would imagine, to pick up a second one of these Orkos so you could have an Orko on display along with his Uncle Montark. Looking, though, at those parts, I mean, they're not really going to be doing much of anything until eventually we get around to swapping these around. He comes included with the beard, and he comes included with the headpiece. Now, you'll notice, though, with his head, Montauk actually does have a slightly different eye than Orko. You can see that Orko's is round, and his dear uncle actually has square eyes. Kind of interesting. To swap the heads around is just a case of actually popping off the head, popping off the hat, I should say, removing the headpiece, and removing as well the scarf. I'm going to do that in a second, though. I figured we kind of want to really look at Orko first. He's the real reason. I mean, it's advertised in the packaging anyways as Orko. It doesn't say it's being advertised as Uncle Montauk. As mentioned, though, the figure does also come included with his hero medal. Now, I had a hard real time of taking this out of the tray. This was a very soft plastic, and when I was trying to pull this from the tray, I was actually worried for a moment that I was going to rip it. Again, it's very soft plastic. To get this around his head, though, you're going to have to take the head off anyways, and then you're just going to put that around his neck. Maybe I'll do that also in a second as well. So, the figure does come included with this floating stand. Now, if you compare it with the more exaggerated stand that the Origins Orko had, I know a lot of people didn't really like the look of that stand. I didn't really mind it all that much. Now, though, that I see this is the example that we can use. Another reason, you could probably get yourself what we're now counting 3 Orkos. One is Orko, one is his uncle, one to get one just as for the display stand itself. The stand just detaches. There's a hole on the bottom of his skirting. And then this doesn't really have much in the way of posability. You can rotate it, but I mean, really, it also rotates. Like when you plug it onto his body's going to kind of rotate anyways. I guess it's just something that saves the peg, so you can kind of rotate it. It makes such a very unsettling sound to start turning things around like this. You almost kind of feel like it's going to be breaking. And looking at the way it's designed, I don't want to really turn it all that much. Yeah, it seems like it's still okay. Even though it does look like it could turn, I really don't like the sound that goes along with it, so I probably would just leave it be. By the way, though, if you again wanted to swap out the bodies, Origins Orko, even though he did technically have some posability because there was a hinge joint here, and then further up from that, there was also a hinge joint. We can move this back and forth. This could also rotate too as well, but I know a lot of people, again, just didn't like this. This was so much going on for something that really only needed to be a display stand. Technically, yeah, you could just detach this, and it works with the exact same hole. So you can take that Orko, just detach this one from his display stand, and just attach this again to the Origins Orko. Now you got yourself a slightly more simpler stand, and hey, why not? You can also use this stand and attach it onto this Orko. Although this one is a little harder to get on there. It seems like it's almost even a larger joint. So you can have the figures swapped around. Crisscross, applesauce. You can mix around the stands that way. In the end, though, I just really like the clear display stand. I think it works a little bit better. So let's kind of move Orko out of the way. I guess before we do that, though, let's just attach this guy. Show you guys, though, the differences between the two. You know, his outfit is very similar, obviously. The Origins Orko, though, would have had a much longer outfit. This Orko is a lot smaller in size. The hats are also very similar. Eyes also are very similar too. Now, I haven't yet tried this, but I wonder if you could actually swap the eyes around. You'll notice, though, that the head is a little bit smaller on the Origins, a little bit larger, though, for the cartoon collection. Arms are a little bit smaller also as well. So there is a difference, obviously, between the two. Even though, neither one of them really look like the vintage Orko. Orko, the original one, was a much simpler looking design figure. I think he also had a zip line. You could pull him back and he'd zip along. But, you know, I feel bad kind of saying this because I'm more an Origins guy myself. I love the cartoon collection, but to go back and collect the vintage toy line, which I know is going for stupid money. If you try to track down the old 80s figures of He-Man and Master Universe, they go for some crazy money nowadays. Even though this really is a little shorter in size, I'd almost be kind of compelled to display this guy with my Origins figures and then get another one for the cartoon collection. Even though, again, this one's not that bad, really. I don't know. I'm not sure really what I'm going to do. What I am going to do, though, is I'm going to show you guys how to attach the necklace. So, the necklace, the way that it's designed, even though it's rubbery plastic, I wouldn't dare risk trying to stretch this around his hat. Don't do that, whatever you do. So instead, just sort of detach the hat. And you can basically just leave Orko the way he is right now. Take yourself then the medal. You want to make sure, of course, it's facing the right way. To know you're facing it the right way, it says hero on one side. It says absolutely nothing on the other. It's got some sculpting, yes, but the hero is really what we want to be showing off. So we basically just take that and we put it around Orko's kind of his scarf there, and then we basically just then take his head. His head, actually, if you look at the inside of his hat, does have a ball joint, and that just then plugs onto his head, and just like that. Make sure it's all the way on there. There we go. And now Orko's got himself his little medallion. As an accessory thrown in there, this is actually pulled from the episode The Return of Orko's Uncle. I guess it's fine that they would have thrown this in there. I actually would have just preferred really to have some spells, something just you could have attached inside of his hand. I mean, the metal is fine and good, but I think for a long-term plan of displaying Orko, some spells, something just, I don't know, like something sparkly, I think would have worked a little bit better for the figure. Now, again, if you want to change this, though, to Montarch, all you're going to have to then do is basically you're just going to detach the head. You really do want to kind of really take everything off, so let's just do that. So Orko's head is basically as a separate piece, and then the scarf is a separate piece. So you got 2 extra pieces. Then you got yourself your beard and the head for Montarch, so you can go ahead and do that. So put that basically onto the ball joint. And when you're looking at the head, one side is a larger ball joint, one is a smaller one. The smaller socket will go to the top, because I know it's kind of hard when you're looking at this, which way is which. The eyes are also a little bit closer down, so that's also one way to kind of tell you. Plug this then onto the ball joint, just like that. Take yourself the hat and plug it in place. And now you have yourself Orko's uncle. Certainly, though, again, I would probably consider getting more than one of these. What person in their right mind is going to just get one figure of Cartoon Collection Orko and then displayed on the shelf as Orko's uncle? So that's not really going to work for me. It's not going to work really at all for my collection. But if you wanted to, Mattel gives you the means then to have the figures displayed in 2 different ways. The articulation, by the way, is going to be exactly the same on all these figures. Well, whether you have them displayed as the uncle or you display them as Orko, the articulation is going to still stick the same. So the top of the hat technically does have posability. Not really much that you'd be able to do with it. I mean, it's just really involving really the hat rotating around. The head is also going to be on a ball joint, so it does move too. It's hard, though, to kind of get in there to start to move the head around, because when you try to move the head, you're going to be moving the hat. So there is some posability there, but you kind of have to kind of get your finger in there and turn it manually. And then, of course, you want to make sure you're facing it forward so the uncle can see where he's going. As for the arms, Orko or his uncle does give you a T-pose either way. You can bring the arms forward, you can bring the arms back. He has a single hinge only in the elbow. You can rotate the forearm, though. Rotate the forearm, though. You can also rotate his tiny little hands. Look how small those things are. And then he doesn't really have much in the way of posability from like that down. I mean, everything else basically is just sculpted this way. But if you look, though, at the original origins, the origins would have worked the exact same way, and they would have also plugged in the exact same way. I love the look of Orko, though. I mean, like, to get a Cartoon Collection Orko, though, whether you want to display him as his uncle, I think, again, like, if you're only beginning one figure and one figure only, nobody really is going to be displaying. Not that I want to speak for every collector out there, but it's very unlikely, I'm sure, that you're going to be picking up these figures with the idea of displaying him as Montarch. Again, like to bring back in He-Man, who had dropped earlier, and to bring back in, say, like Teela. Why not? We'll also bring in Man-at-Arms. It's nice to finally have ourselves an Orko as part of this set. I mean, even though this is part of the wave that still includes as well Grizzlor and Fangman, which we will be looking at in 2 obviously separate reviews when those figures eventually arrive, Orko really was the one I was looking forward to the most. We didn't have to really wait that far into the line before eventually we got ourselves a Orko. And I think the final result of getting a figure like this is he does look good. Let's go ahead and get Origins Orko back on his display stand. Again, the benefit that I think that Mattel was smart to do is by making these also the same universally sized whole, if you end up getting more than one Orko, another one for the uncle, another one for the display stand, you could then use this display stand for this Orko if you thought the original Origins Orko had too busy of a display stand. I'm sure he's not going to be displayed at all on my shelf like this. I figured I'd spend some time to wrap up this review with the figure displayed as Uncle Montork. I don't know how many times I probably called him Montarch in this review, but either way, though, Mattel chose smartly to include swappable parts, so if you don't want to have Orko displayed as his normal self, you can display him as his dear uncle, too. Also, there's the nudge that you need in the right direction to get a second Orko. Not that I really need to have my rubber arm twisted, because I know I'm going to only go out there and get myself another Cartoon Collection Orko with the reasons in mind that I can change it into the look of the Uncle Montarch instead. Now, one thing also with this figure, too, is that he comes included with the mini comic. I said Part V. Obviously, Part V is Part 5 of the Horde Invasion saga. One comic, though, we will be seeing again when we look at Grizzlor, and then seeing again and then again after we then see Fangman, which those 2 figures I've now ordered. I'm just waiting for those to arrive in the mail. What do you guys think, though, of the Cartoon Collection Orko? Let me know down below in the comments section. I still think, though, the fact that you get yourself the included swappable parts for, obviously, his uncle, and that he also comes included with a hero medal, he gets some really cool accessories. Now, I mean, some of these Cartoon Collection figures have had some scratchable accessories where you kind of like look at that and you think, did he really need to have this said item? Probably still the worst is probably Merman's Pearl. I don't even know what I end up doing with that Pearl. I'm sure I just end up losing it. Orko at least does come included with the Hero Medal, even though I'm probably not going to be displaying it. The Hero Medal will find the same place as all the parts for his uncle. They'll be ending up in a bag with all the other Cartoon Collection figures, accessories that I don't currently have on display. But what do you guys think of Cartoon Collection Orko? Yeah, pretty cool figure, isn't he? Do you have plans also as well to get a second version of this guy so you could be displaying him also as Orko and Uncle Montork on the shelf? Let me know what you guys think of him. If you guys did also enjoy this video, hey now, yeah, do it us all. Throw it a like. You guys want to stick around for more so? I hope so. Hit that subscribe, my friends. Turn on the bell so you get the notifications always when new videos are going to be dropping. Dropping like dropping water. And of course, if you guys did want to go back and look at all the other Cartoon Collection figures that I have done reviews for, popping up at the very end of this video will be playlists of all the Cartoon Collection figures and the Master Universe figure reviews that I've done in the past as well. As always, guys, thanks for watching. See you guys next time.